start this thing. I mean, thank you for the beverage, by the way.
Absolutely,
you are welcome.
Absolutely. Everyone's always welcome to a beverage in the Sail Local Sun Lounge.
Ahoy, hoy! Welcome aboard the Funny Boat Podcast. I am your host, Captain Boomies. The broker with the beard is not with me today, but that's okay because I have two fabulous sailors with me.
And another bearded man.
I don't know.
You didn't wear your glitter today.
Oh, yeah, no glitter today. No Taylor Swift concert today.
Oh, gosh.
I glittered up. I loved it.
You did.
You know?
Yes. The women would not stop approaching him.
If any single guys out there are looking for a great way to pick up your next wife, put glitter in your beard and go to a Taylor Swift concert.
This is brilliant dating advice from
Yeah,
Sail Local.
absolutely.
So Sail Local, if you don't know them, they are huge on Instagram. Follow their reels and social media adventures while they take people on sailing charters around Baltimore Harbor. But you guys also do history, you do all kinds of fun little events. I met you guys once when we were doing some magnet fishing, which was super fun.
Yeah, we just try to be pro Baltimore. It's a great place to live, work, and play. And we just try to put that positive vibe out there so more people realize that, I think. I mean, that's the goal, you know.
That is the goal, yes.
And by the way, we have a charter business. That's kind of like what it is.
I mean, so explain it to me, though, because you guys don't look like dirtbag sailors.
Oh, why, thank you.
You look like, you know, an adorable yachting couple that just happens to know where all of the best waterfront restaurants are in town. And explain that to me.
Well, we definitely know where all the best waterfront bars are in town.
I like this one particularly.
Yeah.
This is a great one.
The Sun Lounge is great. It was a good build, sweetheart. It was a good build.
You. Thank you. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
They built this beautiful little patio out of the corner of the dock that's not really usable for boats. And it's perfection. Absolutely. The sun is setting. It's completely gorgeous. If you're not watching the video version of this, shame on you. But also, I totally understand. Drive your car. Stop looking at your phone. Quit it.
So many people, when they get off of we do like background, I guess, on our charter. We're the only locally owned private sailing charter in Baltimore, the only veteran-owned tourist company in Baltimore, and we're the only private charter company in Maryland. Actually, I've been recently told the DMV, where kids 12 and under sail for free. And that is something that we did new for this year with all those crazy high prices families are paying in the grocery stores, and we just thought it might make it a little easier for them to get the family on the water.
Oh, you guys are big softies. That's ridiculous. I'd be gouging families right now. They're desperate for things to do with their kids. But that's me. I'm a different kind of charter captain.
No, we put the good vibes out there. We get good vibes back. Like you sitting here with us right now. It's great vibes all around.
You guys are just so fun. Every time I see you guys show up on my feed, I get really excited about it.
I feel the same way when I see all your videos. Yeah.
Oh, man. But being internet boat floaters is weird. And this keeps coming up on the podcast, actually, because I just got done doing this crazy big trip that was sponsored, and it's going to be part of Chesapeake Bay Magazine's video series. It's not even mine, but I've done a ton of behind the scenes stuff, and I hope they don't hate me for that. Because there's like, hey, Chesapeake Bay Magazine face, and then there's, listen, this is Captain Boomies talking to you about this thing in particular. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just hope they're okay with what they've gotten themselves into. You guys are exactly who you are on camera, though.
Thank you.
Like, exactly. Like, we hang out. I remember hanging out around Christmas time. We went to a fun little bar where all the dogs were going to take their picture with Santa. It was
Yes.
adorable.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
And our friend was Santa that night.
Our friend was Santa, Mike Marshall, who also lives on a boat. Yeah, another boater, another Baltimore boater.
I always pictured Santa living on a boat. It didn't make sense to me that he was at the North Pole.
All right, yeah.
He's got like a really fabulous tug that has a lot of Christmas lights on it.
Yes.
That's how I picture
That's
Santa.
how I
Right,
picture him too.
yeah, being towed by floating reindeer. And you're the same way. You are exactly in person how you are on, I guess, your podcast and especially your Instagram. Just the humor, and that's what we realized too. So recently we got nominated for Baltimore's best tourist attraction, and we're not even a year old, and Baltimore's best Instagram account. Now that was a reader's poll from Baltimore Magazine, but it's just cute and awesome and amazing.
You deserve it.
And we love that someone.
Fingers crossed, we win.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But somebody out there thought of us and said, "Hey, I'm going to nominate them." And we had a lot of support from there. But like one thing that we do on our Instagram, it's so easy just to be yourself. And I think sincerity goes a long way.
Yep.
And after COVID, and Alicia and I talk about this a lot, I think people want more than 7 seconds of just something. They want substance. So like that's why our reels are like, well, I know I can't go above 59 seconds. So that's what we do,
We should try it one day.
Yeah, try to keep it under a minute.
No, you guys are doing it exactly right. And what kind of charter guests are you getting these days?
Oh,
that's actually
Who wants to come out and hang out with the Instagram
everyone.
couple?
Everyone, yeah. So it's actually, when we started the business last year, we decided that we weren't going to do Airbnb or any of the tourist stuff, that we were literally just going to focus on being Baltimore's local boat for Baltimoreans to kind of get a different taste of the city. So we only advertised on Instagram and social media, and we only advertise because you could pinpoint certain audiences, and we tried to pinpoint certain cities, i.e. Baltimore. And so now on our Instagram, 87% of the people that follow us live on a 30-minute drive of the boat. And that is our clientele. That's the majority of our clientele. They live in Baltimore, Ellicott City, Columbia, and recently we've had a big bump in Northern Virginia and DC.
Well, and Sykesville too.
Oh, Sykesville. Yeah, hey,
Yes.
Sykesville, what up? Yeah, I mean, every other client, when we say, hey, where are you guys from? And they're like, Sykesville. I'm like, I don't know what's happening in Sykesville, but they are loving Boat Baltimore
Yeah,
up
they
there.
want to come get on the water.
That's great.
So, I mean, this year, since we're doing the kids for free, we've gotten quite a few families with young kids.
Yeah, lots of family stuff.
Which is really great. And then lots of birthday parties on boats.
I would say the great majority of our stuff is families just trying to get on the water, birthdays, anniversaries, and then guys trying to make up for something with a date night.
Oh, stop.
I like that. That's look, more good dating advice.
More
Yeah,
good dating
more
advice,
dating advice.
right.
Yeah.
Dating by
Right.
Sail
And
Local.
if you wear glitter, it's a plus.
Fantastic.
we tell people too, like, unlike other boats where they charge for drinks or food or whatever, it's just a comfort feeling. It's a chill type of like vibe. People can bring whatever they want to drink and whatever they want to eat, so long as it's not crabs, because that's hella hard to clean up on a sailboat.
I love that. Oh man, I was packing to come down here and I was looking at my liquor cabinet and I was like, oh well, I should definitely bring those guys some beer because I always raid your very nice cooler over here and I owe you some refills. But also I was looking at my wine cabinet and I'm like, oh, maybe I should bring those guys a bottle of wine. And then I realized I've only got red wine and there's this faux pas about bringing red wine on boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you all feel about that.
It's
but
certainly cool if people bring red wine, and so we recently just finished. Excuse me. Hope you can cut me like clearing my throat out and the mic out. We recently repainted the deck and waxed the deck. And people spill red wine quite a bit, and it's amazing how it easily washes away.
Right
I can't
off.
stress wax your boat more. To like, if you're a new boater or whatever, just do it. Take the time, and then you don't have to scrub until next year. It's amazing wax.
that's fantastic advice. I can't agree with you more. And every time I see these horribly oxidized boats,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Every time you put your finger on that, it's gonna stain the boat forever.
Exactly.
Just
exactly.
wax it. And,
White dust everywhere. Yeah.
It's brutal.
Very true. I mean, it's just. I mean, I know it's really hard to kind of keep a boat clean, but it's if you wait longer and longer and longer and let everything go, it becomes harder and harder and harder to catch up. So if you just spend a couple of hours each week before you go out, sprucing something up or fixing something, check your oil before you leave. You'd be good to go. Yeah.
How long have you guys owned?
Saida.
We need to talk about the name as well. So your very pretty sloop here. How big is she?
So it is a 45-foot Hunter Legend from 1985, originally designed to be an ocean racer by Lars, who was the founder of Hunter.
Let me dust that off. Yeah. Very, very impressive.
So it's the reason why it looks sleek is because it was modeled after a swan, but what they did is they made the hull much deeper, so it has 7-foot head clearance inside.
So for those of you that are uninitiated, swan is like the Lamborghini of sailing boats.
And Hunter is not.
No, Hunter is not. Hunter gets a lot of shit. But you actually have a backstay on this Hunter, which is unusual for hunters.
Right. The Legend series all had backs because they were all made like a normal sailboat. And it's actually really, I didn't know that about, I bought this boat. So when I was buying a boat, the first thing I did, and we do the same thing when we were looking for a camper, the first thing I do is I go in and I go into the head, to the restroom. If I can't fit in, I'm like, why look at the rest of the boat?
There's a lot of spaces he does not fit
I am
into.
6'3" and like 280 pounds, and it's just like.
So he does not have to duck on this boat.
Oh.
He stands up tall the entire time.
That's huge.
When I saw this boat, I went in and had instead of a V berth, it has this massive head up at the bow with this huge hatch that when you open, you can shower under the sun. It's just beautiful. You know, the water's glistening off your body. It's just great stuff, right? Great sailboat stuff. And I fit in the restroom. I turned to the broker and I'm like, does the engine work? And he said yes. And I said, I'll take it.
This was back in,
I think 2014. Yeah.
Okay, so many moons ago.
Many moons ago. And I had no clue how popular Legends were and how it has this like little niche following of people. And the first time I was sailing was when we, what's it called when you're about to buy a boat and you go out for a test sail? It's
Sea
called
trial.
Sea trial. Thank you. Wow, babe. Nice job. Good. Boom. All right.
That was so cute.
So the sea trial was the first time I've ever been on a sailboat of this boat.
No way.
Yeah. It's a real true story, you know?
Oh my gosh. So how'd you learn how to sail then?
Fun story.
I got drunk one night and I went out for a week and just picked it up. No.
That's most of the
I've
story.
heard that story before.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
actually partly true. So I had an old Army buddy of mine. The boat was originally in Kent Island. An old Army buddy of mine, he knew how to sail. We sailed from Kent Island back to Baltimore to bring the boat. He gave me some, pointers along the way. And a couple of weeks later, I'm still waiting for him to come back to give me like lesson number 2. And I just got tired, so I untied the boat from the dock and went out sailing for a week and figured I'd pick it up. I did watch some YouTube videos beforehand. And
Nice.
it's a typical soldier thing, trial by fire,
Yeah.
So worked out well.
Yeah, and he can single hand this boat. He doesn't even need me.
Oh, wow.
It's very impressive. It's because he's so
I don't know,
tall.
impressive.
Do you see my arms?
I have some wingspan.
I know, look
on
at
me.
his
I
wingspan.
do, yeah.
So he just stands there, he can grab both sheets at once and just shoot. Done.
Good use of the term sheets, love.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, nice.
This, she has
I
become
know.
very salty
I
in
know.
no time, right?
I know.
I remember meeting last year, and this was amazing. I'm
Thank
so
you,
impressed
thank you.
right now.
She's about to sign up for the course to get her basic keelboat certificate,
Oh.
and she's like, "Babe, are you going to do it with me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think I can do that. What if I don't know anything? How can I be Captain Bobby of Boat Baltimore, the sailing king? Oh man."
I love that. That's too funny.
But it's good. It's fun. It's a great boat, and we love it.
So this is only your second season, right?
This
And even then,
our
you.
second season, and July 4th marks our 1-year anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy anniversary!
Yes.
We're really excited about it. We heard that the city of Baltimore is going to give us a firework display, and some people will come out to celebrate with us.
Quite a few people, we've been told.
So we're looking forward to July 4th, which of course, as everyone knows, is our 1-year anniversary. Yeah.
I assume you're already booked.
For July, actually not for July 4th yet. We're booked all of June mostly.
Yeah.
But people make that decision later on about what they're going to do. I mean, it's so early right now. But I'm thinking by June 15th, if we're not booked,
You'll keep it for yourself then?
No,
Maybe.
it will eventually get booked. Everybody wants to be on the water.
It will
for July
absolutely
4th.
get booked.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we're doing it's a 5-hour sail with food and drinks. So
Yes.
yeah, and
A
then
little extra special.
yeah, it's nice. So we're sail around the harbor a bit. Not the inner harbor, but the outer harbor. I don't know. I don't know what the opposite of the inner harbor is. So I'm talking about Dundalk for anyone that knows Maryland. So we're going to sail around Dundalk, and probably go past the Key Bridge, and then by the time we sail back in, we'll probably have a good 45 minutes before the fireworks starts, and we anchor at a super secret place that I can't tell because I don't want anyone else to anchor there. That has an amazing view of not only the fireworks in the sky, but also the fireworks, what is it called? The ground effects off the barge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
We loved it last year. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
It was
Wait,
really,
do they
really
put the
great.
barge in the same spot every year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Just out in front of Domino Sugar.
That's a secret.
Sorry.
Yes, it's the
I mean, they
same.
do put out a notice to mariners on where it's going to be. I'm usually somewhere else in the world during 4th of July. So
It's a really cool feeling. As long as the watermark stays out of our line of sight. I love you guys.
the watermark being, you might have one in your city and or town, but they're large dinner cruise type boats.
But
And-
locally owned for 50 years or 75 years. That's debatable because I forgot what their website says. But yeah, locally owned Maryland business.
You guys are getting very knowledgeable about the nautical scene as well, though, which is super awesome because you guys have been teaching me things about this harbor.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. What did we teach you?
Well, so I'm having to bring a boat into Baltimore Harbor last week, and I realized I'm like, oh, hey, somebody was telling me something about the terminals out here, and I think it was Sail Local. And I filmed that, and I'm taking all the credit for it.
Nice. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, wonderful.
But
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
absolutely welcome.
I also like the way you guys talk about the history of Baltimore because honestly, I'm obsessed with Fort McHenry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
obsessed with the Star-Spangled Buoy out there, which is the spot that Francis Scott Key was
Yeah.
supposed to have been when he saw that our
Yeah, on a
flag was
British
still
ship.
there.
Right.
We do try and take
While
most people
while
there.
his children
if we
and
can.
family were in the city of Baltimore as it was being bombed,
How many children?
he was courageous
5?
enough to write a poem. Yeah.
Five kids at home, something like that.
I don't know, 7 kids, 11 kids. I mean, it was kids.
Didn't
though.
have that many
But
kids,
like, what does he do? Like after the battle of Baltimore, he comes home and he says, "Honey, guess what? I wrote a poem." And she's like, "Honey, guess what? We were bombarded all night." Like, it just seems like that was definitely grounds for divorce. But it did become our Star-Spangled Banner, and the red, white, and blue became our national flag because of it. Because of the broad stripes and bright stars in the poem that became really, really popular after the battle all across the country. They talked about this red and white striped, flag with the stars on it. It was so large because the commander of Fort McHenry, what was his name? I forget. I'm sorry,
I'm not
buddy.
good. I'm not
sorry.
good.
I normally do
He's
this
the
when I'm
name
on the boat,
person.
but I forget it right now.
So he's not on the boat, so he can't remember any
Yeah,
of
that's
it.
what it is.
Muscle memory.
We're all going to need another drink.
He wanted the largest American flag to be seen, to be sewn. So when the British would see it, it was pretty much kind of like a poke in their side. It was so large that it had to be sewn in a brewery because that was the only place large enough to sew the flag. When they
Yeah.
brought the flag to the fort, they had to lay it out on the grass to dry a bit because it was stained with beer. And that is the flag that Francis Scott Key saw At dawn's early light, what so proudly we hail, it was a beer-stained American flag made in Baltimore.
That it was.
Yeah.
That
And
it was.
if that ain't an American story,
Cheers
I don't
to
know
that.
what is. Yeah.
Bringing us back in, we need to go back and talk about the name. Tell me the name one more time. Saida?
Saida.
I was worried I'm pronouncing that wrong. I saw the reel about this, but
Okay.
I don't know that I fully absorbed.
What it meant?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to give the whole backstory?
Yeah, I guess so. So I was a counterintelligence agent in the Army.
Spooky.
Yeah, maybe not, when I was in the military, I used to give a briefing called SAIDA, which stands for Subversion and Espionage Directed Against the Army. So if you were going to be deployed or go on...
Say that one more time
Sure.
slower for people
Subversion.
that are not good at
No
acronyms.
worries. Subversion and Espionage Directed Against the Army.
Okay, so here's
The
my
US Army
interpretation about that.
specifically.
Okay, yeah, okay. I figured.
America.
Subversion. So and what was the other
Espionage.
one? Espionage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So people trying to do bad stuff.
Right. So what a counterintelligence agent normally does is they're trying to not hunt down. That's the wrong term. What a counterintelligence agent normally does is they investigate soldiers who may be coerced or hired to do bad things against the U.S. Army.
Okay.
Whether it be a terrorist group or a foreign intelligence service or whatever.
So are you just checking out people's girlfriends all the time? Is that like what we're talking about?
Well, randomly, yeah. My desk mate, he's got this Russian girlfriend. I don't know, he's got a Russian flag on his desk. Well, one of the briefings we would give was a SAIDA brief. If you're going to get deployed, when you would come into country, whatever, and basically it's like if somebody comes up and asks you these questions, report it. If you see this, report it. If you see something, say something type of thing. And so because the Army gave me a lot in life, being from Baltimore, not having a really amazing family and a really amazing single mom who did everything to make sure I had opportunities, the real opportunity came with the Army, who gave me the opportunity to get an education and gave me a professional life that paid good money for me to buy a boat. So when I wanted to name the boat, I wanted to name it after something from the Army, and it was Saida. But the fun thing is, although the term Saida is no longer used in today's Army, it was still an official use only acronym. So I had to call the Army and get their approval to let me name the boat this. And after a while of asking a whole bunch of people who no one knew the answer, they just said, "Go on, kid, name it Saida." And so that's Saida. That's where it comes from.
I love that. That's so fun.
Yeah.
And because it just sounds like a pretty name, like a weird,
It does.
Yeah.
like some kind of, sea nymph type name. Like,
Yes.
Fun fact, I can't find Saida, another boat named Saida. So do you know if you go for a documented vessel, there's a website, No Boat Saida. I've gone to the international documentation website. I cannot find another ship or boat in the entire world named Saida. Maybe there is, but I can't find it. And I know that we just got our renaming documentation from the U.S. Coast Guard this week, and on it says our new name is Saida, and we are the only U.S. boat named Saida.
oh, that's fun.
That's huge, right? And look, going into a foreign port, look how easy it is. Sierra Alpha Echo Delta Alpha. It's so easy. It's not like Sunset Lovers sailing cruise. You have to do the alphanumeric thing on VHF. So for people that don't know that, when you go into a foreign port, you have to spell your boat name. And I just find it really funny when people have this huge, long boat name, and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to the Bahamas." I'm like, well, enjoy that.
It's funny because you think all these Coast Guards around the world can handle alphanumeric.
Right.
They really can't.
I think it's more of
They can't.
okay, you can talk.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Very good point. And I guess what Alicia was alluding to is the reason why I got the sailboat. I was pushed into getting a sailboat by the Army. Because the last time I was in Iraq, I had a near really bad experience, and I was stationed with this one unit in a southern city called Basra, which is a seaport city in Iraq. And the wind would normally blow from the north. It was dry, and you would just smell sand. But now and again, the wind would change direction and blow from the south, and you could smell the salt water. And you would see the seagulls fly over the base. And there were these churches that would send you care packages, like magazines and candies and things like that. And I used to let all the other soldiers get whatever they wanted, get all the good stuff first, and whatever was left is what I would take. And it was this crappy magazine called Cruising World, which I'm now in love with.
I mean, I read it all the time.
It has a very sentimental place in my heart now, Cruising World. And if you're looking to sponsor us, you can find us at boatbaltimore.com. I'm sitting there after this bad experience, smelling the salt air, hearing the seagulls, chirp or whatever sound seagulls make. And I'm looking at these pictures of these beautiful sailboats and these beautiful waters. And I'm just thinking about how peaceful it is. And I just really wanted that peace. So I said it to myself, if I make it out of Iraq in one piece, I'm never coming back. And I didn't. Once that tour was over, I never went back. And I promised I'd buy myself a sailboat. And that's what I did. And that's the boat. That's it.
Yeah.
Honor Legend, an American-made boat made in Florida.
Is it weird being married to a hero?
Oh, no, stop. I'm not a hero at all. No, there's plenty more people that gave a ton more than me. So it's like, but I do have a very soft place in my heart for the Army and, for good or for bad, the direction they pushed me in my whole life.
Well, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for the cocktails.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for being guests on the Funny Boat Podcast. You can check these guys out at boatbaltimore.com.
And on social media at Sail Local.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Captain
This
Boomies.
has been so much
It's
fun.
been great.
Bon voyage. All right, I'm ready for another beverage.
All right. Oh, nice. That was quick.
Yeah,
Nice job.
right?
She drinks like me.